it's not a small demographic of women.
It is.
Okay, hold on, but Mel, hold on.
By the
Remember,
numbers it is, Noble.
Mel,
By the
Mel,
numbers it is.
Mel. Remember you and I have remember you and I have a 12-year age gap between us. So just keep in mind that, I mean, you're speaking from the perspective of a 38-year-old woman, and I'm a 26-year-old man, and I'm like really in the heart of what's going on. I talk to women on here, as you know. I talk to women off of here, as you know. I know what's really like going on out here, Mel. And at the end of the day, let's talk about the whole Mary Down thing. Because, you said this in the past. There's a lot of other women on this app that say black women, quote unquote, marry down statistically more than any other race. Mel, after this live, I'm going to need you to like find somewhere on the internet where you can verify this for me and send it to me, because
You
whenever
you
I've
on the
asked,
internet, you got a computer right in front of you. Do it right now.
when whenever
I
I've
guarantee you there's several articles about it. Several.
whenever I've asked women, where can I go on the internet to like verify that what you're telling
Google.
me is true? No, Mel, that's not
Literally.
true. Mel, because this is another thing. This is another thing that I spoke on this a few weeks back, but I'm gonna speak on this again. Education is not a direct correlation to money, ladies and gentlemen. So all this talk about black women are the most educated, and they're continuing to be the most educated in this country for both bachelor's, master's, and doctorate programs. But they're still not earning more money than black men.
No,
Like,
but the gap is this small.
yeah, it's
So
very, it's very,
the
it's
gap
very.
the gap between white men and white women is this big. The gap between black women and black men is this big, and it used to be this big. And so why that when I say that we are out earning, we are gradually out earning. We're not there yet, but we are on par to there. That is where we
Absolutely,
are. And a lot of it
absolutely.
does have to do with our education levels. It does.
Absolutely. I'm not denying that. But what you and other black women need to say, Mel, is you need to, because like even last year, the black man, the average black man made like 45.7, and a black woman made like 45 or 42.7, and a black woman made like 42.2. Like at the end of the day, the average black man and average black woman is making between 40 and 45,000 in America. So it's basically the same. So, but if we're gonna go off the statistics, if we're gonna go strictly off the numbers, how are black women, quote unquote, marrying down if they're not even earning more money than black men on average? That just it
You,
doesn't, it can't
you
make any sense.
Because what you're doing, you're conflating a few things,
But,
right?
but Mel, really quick about the whole marrying and dating down thing. Why is it a matter of someone marrying down or dating down? You know why that's the matter? Because again, a lot of what all these women care about is finances. So if I make,
That's not the
oh,
case.
oh, hear me out.
Go ahead.
So if I make more money than him and I date him, I'm dating down. Well, if that's the case, a lot of
That's just
black
the
men.
language that is
If
used.
that's the case, a lot of black men date down when it comes to black women. So
So,
what are we talking
all right,
about?
let me.
But
I'm
you
gonna
but
interrupt
you
you
don't
real
hear
quick,
you don't hear
Noble, because
black
I
men
think
saying that they're
I think
dating
what
down.
you tend to do is you tend to forget how the world is structured, how our country is structured, how systems are structured, how power is structured, right? So when we talk about marrying down, marrying up, we talk about culture and the ways that we speak about gender roles in our society. We have to keep into in mind the way that the society is structured, and the way that the language is structured is because of the society. The society is patriarchal. So when we say marry down, the language marrying down is because we live in a patriarchal society, because the expectation is that men make more money because the society is patriarchal, right? So women didn't come up with these terms, and women are not saying they didn't make up the term marrying down. That is something that is a term because in patriarchal societies, women are expected to marry up and men are expected to be the breadwinners. as our society is becoming more egalitarian out of necessity, right? Then you find women will marry down because now women are getting opportunities to get jobs, to get educations. Like literally 30 years ago, couldn't even have a bank account. Not 30 years ago, 50 years ago, couldn't even have a bank account, couldn't even have a credit card, couldn't have none of these things. Now women are getting these things. They're getting the education, they're getting the jobs, they're getting this, they're getting their money, they're learning how to invest, they're learning how to do this, they're learning how to do that, right? Now what is happening is women are seeking men, good men, not necessarily finances. And I think that's another thing that you tend to use, like, oh, women only care about money. No, we don't only care about money. Modern women, again, don't give a fuck about money. We just want you to at least be at our level. Wherever our level is, that's where we need you, at the very bare minimum, right? But then what we need you to be is kind, compassionate, emotionally intelligent, like be able to be we are looking for partnerships. So then what ends up happening is we find people at our level or higher, right? And then they lack compassion, they lack kindness, they lack emotional intelligence, they are misogynistic, they're sexist. And then what ends up happening is we start lowering our financial standards so that our other standards can be met, right? We want kind men. A lot of kind men, if we want kind men, we can't just sit here and be like, we want all the rich niggas, because a lot of these rich niggas are not kind. So we will sacrifice the finances so that we can have a man that is compassionate, that is a partner, that is not looking at us, that is seeing us as an equal. You get what I'm saying? This is what is happening. There are many studies about this, and this is happening across all races. Women are looking for men that are kind. That is the number one thing that all women across the world, there are surveys on this. Women want men that are kind, not nice, but kind, right? But then you still have to have all these other factors, right? We live in a capitalistic society. Of course you gotta make a certain amount of fucking money, nigga. Duh. Why should I compromise that all the way down here? I'm not gonna compromise that all the way down here. You get what I'm saying? So some people are gonna get lost down here because I need your finances to be at least here. This is where my lifestyle is. I shouldn't have to compromise this that much, but I have to because we are out educating, out earning, and all these things. As we have all of these things, we have to marry down in, again, the language, because we live in a patriarchal society, and the expectation is that the man is the breadwinner. So and that's really what it is. And a lot of the times, Noble, you fail to understand what is really happening in society.
Are you done?
Yeah, and just real quick, in terms of marrying down, because of the society and the way the society is structured, women marry down financially. Men marry down in terms of aesthetic. So because a lot of the things that men are conditioned to seek in a woman is an aesthetic, right? Like a certain look of a woman. That when men marry down, like it's usually she's not as pretty, or she's not as cute, or she's not as beautiful. And we all notice, let's keep it a stack. When you bring your new girlfriend around and she not cute, and your uncle don't ask, yo, is that you, Neff? You know what the fuck it is. And again, it's because of the way our society is structured. Not necessarily that, like, oh, y'all must be this way. But if you're conditioned that way, of course you're gonna act in the way that you are expected to behave.
Okay, Mel. You made some points in there that you said some things that I agree with, but you said a lot of things that I disagree with, and not only disagree with, they're just they're just they're just not true. Listen, I had a woman my age ask me like a week or two ago. She said, Noble, she said, if a woman told you that, because this is what a lot of black women are saying, especially in my age demographic, right? They're saying, like you said earlier, we're working. We have our own money. Like, we don't need you for your money. Like, we don't need you for your money. So she said, Noble, if I told you that I have my own money and I don't need you for whatever money you have, whatever resources you could bring into my life, what would your duty, what would your obligation to me be in a relationship? I said, well, if I'm just gonna go off of what you're asking me, my duty would be to love you, would be to respect you, it would be to appreciate you, it would be to just treat you like how you want to be treated. Make sure you feel loved. But I also said, if we be realistic, black women are not just telling men that they're not saying, oh, I have my own stuff and I just need you to just love me and support me and be protective of me and provide for me. They're saying, so I asked her, I said, well, okay, if you have your own money, if you have your own resources and you don't need that for a man, why does how much money a man makes matter? If you're not seeking any,
Because
if
we
you're
live
not
in a
seeking,
capitalist society, Noble.
okay,
We
okay,
live in a capitalist society. That's why money matters.
okay,
It
if
has
you're
to matter.
okay, if you really don't need it at the end of the day, if you really don't need it at the end of the day, why are you seeking it in the first place?
Because
Cause
if we are getting married, if we decide to be in a partnership, then likely we will move out of wherever we're at and we'll probably move into a bigger place. So now we got a bigger place, more finances, right? Then if we start a family, more people in the family, more finances. When you get married and you decide to have a partnership, people think like, oh, now we can split all these bills 50-50. Well, obviously, I was living in a studio apartment. And now we decided to move into a 3-bedroom home. Now my expenses are going up. And then we had children. Now my expenses are going up. Now we got property taxes, we got upkeep, we got all these other things. Now we're together, right? Now we got to think about investments. Now we got to think about all these other things. It's not rocket science, bro. We need people who are financially savvy because we live in a capitalist society. Obviously, if we're going to get married, then all of our financial expectations are going to skyrocket if we're going to have a family. This is
okay,
why we're seeking financial stability. And again, not necessarily, and again, when we say like, oh, I don't need you for your money because I can take care of myself, we still need your money in order to start a family and have a stable family at that. Like, son, how y'all completely ignoring common fucking sense, bro?
okay.